Hi, I'm Moria Levy from Israel, and I want to speak today about the connection between generative AI and tacit knowledge. This is one of two sessions. The first is more theoretical oriented, and the second is more practical oriented. So we have to start with the theory in order to reach later on the practical issues as well. So we will start with some terms, not too long, but a few of them in order to really get it to the right place. First of all, let's start with intelligence. We all know what intelligence is, but the definition of it is a capacity of sense making. When we say sense making, we mean reasoning, we mean understanding, enabling us to develop new knowledge or information in order to take a decision or act upon it. And when we speak about artificial intelligence, we speak about simulating this capacity of sense making by algorithms, by machines, by software, in order to perform the tasks that usually the human would decide upon. So this was the first set. Let's continue. When we speak about knowledge, there are several definitions. Justified true belief. We can speak about, more and more, but I want to stick to the object one. I like the object-oriented knowledge definition, saying that knowledge is information that enables effective action to be taken. And of course, its attributes are that it's context and situation dependent. It's very close to the capacity definition that says the same way, but as a capacity, not as an object. I think that sticking with the object simplifies our understanding, so let's continue from here. The last terms I want to mention have to do with generative AI. Generative AI is a subfield of AI that focuses on content understanding and mainly content creation. The content can be textual, visual, or any other symbols. And we will focus here on the textual content, not because there isn't any knowledge within the visual context or within the keynotes of notes of music or our voice, but yet it's the majority, and it's the majority of the digital content, and it is easier and it contains a lot of knowledge. So let's look at this field of textual content, and maybe if we solve the problem with textual content, we can observe additional fields as well. And just to complete this section of terms, generative AI are always based on large language models. They are the models that enable us. When we speak about models, we speak about data, we speak about algorithms. They enable us to achieve the general purpose of language understanding and generation. So let's start with our questions. That's why we're here for. And ask ourselves, first of all, can AI exhibit intelligence? Wow, that's an interesting question. So let's remember what's intelligence. It's a capacity of sense making, of reasoning, of understanding. So let's look at this example. What do we see in this picture? We see vehicles. And if we think about autonomous vehicles, sense making, yes, they sense the environment, they understand it with reasoning, they develop new knowledge as what is the correct action to take now. So yes, probably the answer here is yes. Can they also exhibit knowledge? Not only intelligence? So again, we're saying they sense the relevant information in the now, in the complex situation we are in, and the programming enables it to take effective action. So again, let's look at it. The autonomous vehicles actually senses the environment, the color of the spotlight, the movement of the people, of the traffic. They put the incoming knowledge together, integrate it, synthesize it to take effective action. In order to complete our objective, safely transit people, packages, whatever we want. So if that is the situation, yes, AI solutions can exhibit knowledge. Let's continue. So we want to ask ourselves, does generative AI exhibit intelligence or knowledge? We spoke about AI in general, but let's go to our field, to generative AI. So if I asked the experts, the first answer when I addressed several people was, oh, no, absolutely no. Knowledge, intelligence is ours. It's the people. But let's go back. We know the definitions. We know the definitions of intelligence, sense-making, of knowledge, information that enables to take effective action. Does generative AI exhibit intelligence? Does it help us in reasoning? Yes, it does. Does it help us and generate information that enables us to effectively take action? Yes. So the answer is already maybe. We're not that sure that, no, that's a field that is only for people, for human beings. We'll come back to it. Maybe it's easier for us if we don't speak about knowledge. However, we split it to two terms, human knowledge and artificial knowledge. The same way we split the intelligence to intelligence and artificial intelligence. That sounds so good. AI. Why not AK? And let's look for a minute on generative AI. Generative AI addresses 3 levels of knowledge. The knowledge on the surface, answering questions of what, where, and when. Knowledge that is beneath the iceberg, but it's very close to the surface. It's easy to capture it. Also, that we know that generative AI addresses, enabling us to see also what's between the lines when it synthesizes the information. However, generative AI also enables us to encompass understanding, to find meaning, I like the word patterns. Therefore, it also addresses the level of deep knowledge. So generative AI does not only address the explicit knowledge, it also addresses the shallow and the deep knowledge. It also addresses the tacit knowledge. So if we come back to our question and re-ask, does generative AI exhibit intelligence or knowledge after we looked at the different types of knowledge? So the answer is yes for the surface. But it's also yes for the shallow and for the deep knowledge. That is many times tacit knowledge. That's not enough. We want to continue. Using generative AI, I hope you remember, or some of you at least are familiar with this model, speaking about existing knowledge, explicit and tacit, shallow and deep, and speaking about developing new knowledge. So if we look at it this way, generative AI addresses existing knowledge. It helps us to share existing knowledge. First V. It also enables us, if we have new knowledge, to share it. Second V. It also enables us to unveil existing tacit knowledge. So if an expert has a tacit knowledge And the machine, the new agents of generative AI, ask it questions and questions and questions. Yes, I have already experienced examples where we used generative AI agents, and we unveiled tacit knowledge that the expert had. But that's not enough. That's the third V. But we want to have also the last one. New artificial intelligence, whether shallow or deep, can be developed with using generative AI. Why? We saw it. Because we have the reasoning, we have the understanding, we have the generation of new patterns. That's how AI machine learning works, based on the existing knowledge. So based on the existing knowledge, new knowledge is developed, whether specific, whether shallow, whether patterned and deep. Yes, new knowledge can be developed. And may we say new artificial knowledge for those who don't want to say new knowledge, because knowledge belongs to human beings. So we are asking ourselves again, is the artificial knowledge generated by GenAI, is it tacit or is it explicit? Because we already probably agree that new knowledge is generated. So is this new knowledge generated is always explicit, or can it also be tacit? Well, this is a bit more tricky. It cannot be tacit, meaning that it's explicit. Why? Because once AI develops the new knowledge is in some conscious and is expressed. And as we know, tacit knowledge is always unexpressed and it's not in our conscious. Therefore, we could say that it is not tacit, it is explicit. However, it has to be tacit. Why does it have to be tacit? Because the same way we use the definitions and attributes of knowledge, saying that the tacit knowledge is not in our conscious and is not expressed, we also can use the definitions and the attributes of knowledge that Alex Bennett has explained in more than one book, that by definition all developed knowledge starts as tacit knowledge, and GenAI develops new knowledge. So it develops new knowledge, it starts as tacit knowledge. So is it tacit, the new knowledge, or is it explicit? The answer is that we have to change our terms. We have to change our definitions in order to maintain consistency in this new world. But the better answer is that it doesn't really matter. Because no matter what definition we use, GenAI has the potential to impact the development of new deep knowledge. And the deep knowledge is what matters. When we say with some romantic, glowing eyes, tacit knowledge, we are thinking about the deep knowledge that's buried down there, that represents not only the what, but the why. And GenAI has the potential of great impact on developing the why are we doing things, not only what are we doing. And at the end of the day, that's what counts. So thank you, everyone. And I think that we are in a new era with a new great promise, and it's our turn now to fulfill. Thank you.